And hello there again, RosterWatch Nation. It's your friendly neighborhood trash man. Back with another piece of fantasy content. Today, I'm going to be talking about my biggest boom or bust wide receivers. So, with talent to spare, but kind of tenuous situations at hand, these receivers will leave you going big or going home come the end of the fantasy season. So, let's go ahead and get started. First off, with Rondale Moore of the Cardinals. Moore was a vaunted prospect in 2021, being drafted in the second round to a Cardinals team helmed by an exciting young quarterback in Kyler Murray, under an also young head coach in Cliff Kingsbury. Kingsbury's offense last season was potent for sure, but he wasn't terribly adept at getting the ball to anyone in particular, save DeAndre Hopkins. Moore finished his rookie season with just 435 yards and one touchdown on 54 catches. Fortunately for Moore, Hopkins is suspended for his first 6 games, leaving an opening for someone to fill the vacuum left by his absence. At the Combine, Kingsbury stated that Moore would see the ball a lot more, no pun intended, in 2022, but that was before Marquise Brown was added to the mix. Moore and Brown play different roles, though, so Moore could still very well see considerable action, especially with Hopkins missing time. With game-breaking potential at hand every time he touches the ball, Moore could develop into a slot receiver of CeeDee Lamb proportions, or he could wallow in mediocrity for a second season. My second biggest boom or bust receivers, and actually these aren't listed in any kind of order, is Donovan Peoples-Jones of the Browns. Peoples-Jones is an interesting situation in the sense that the onus of him booming or busting doesn't really depend on him that much. It's pretty simple. If Deshaun Watson plays for the Browns this season, DPJ will have the best season of his career thus far as an every week deep threat and red zone target for one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league. He's shown that he can pop if given the right opportunities. If you'll remember, a 100-plus yard, 2-touchdown game against Arizona last season, it's indicative of his prowess. But he hasn't had enough consistent quarterback play to buoy that progress. If Watson gets suspended by the league, though, a very real possibility, DPJ would probably be stuck with Baker Mayfield for another season. DPJ tallied 597 yards and 3 touchdowns with Mayfield in 2021, but he didn't have Amari Cooper to contend with for targets, though. Watson can sustain 2 wide receivers, but we've yet to see Mayfield do anything of the sort. Before I talk about my last big boomer bust receiver, I want to talk to you about Underdog Fantasy. The NFL draft season is underway. You can already draft in 2022 fantasy leagues on Underdog Fantasy to win cash prizes. Through their slick mobile app and user-friendly site, you can join a league and draft a team in minutes. Plus, the folks at Underdog are going to help you get started with a deposit match of up to $100 in bonus cash when you sign up and make your first deposit with the promo code ROSTER. So just visit UnderdogFantasy.com, the App Store, or the Google Play Store. Sign up with the code ROSTER, that's ROSTER, and Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code ROSTER. I've been playing the Best Ball Mania 3 contest. You could win $10 million in that. So I'd say give it a shot. Anyway, so back to my last big boom or bust receiver. It's Kadarius Toney of the Giants. Toney's rookie season had a Jekyll and Hyde element to it, as there were moments when he displayed on-field brilliance, but also times where he floundered, on-field and off. He ended up with 420 yards and no touchdowns for his 2021 efforts. Much of his on-field disappointment can be chalked up to injury. He is coming off knee surgery currently, but Toney was somewhat of a malcontent off-field as well. In fact, there are rumors the Giants were going to move him this offseason. That noise seems to have diminished with Toney apparently doing all the right things so far in OTAs, but whether he can capitalize on his second NFL season is debatable. He'll have Kenny Golladay, Darius Slayton, unless he dealt to allow cap space, Sterling Shepard when he returns from his Achilles injury, and more importantly, rookie Wan'Dale Robinson, a player who is just as dynamic as Toney by most appearances. Most importantly, though, he'll have to deal with Daniel Jones under center as quarterback. We haven't seen really Jones put together a complete season. But hopefully, with new head coach Dable, we'll see an improvement on Jones' part. So there you have it. my 3 biggest boom or bust receivers going into the 2022 season. This has been the Trash Man on behalf of RosterWatch.com. If you like what you're hearing, if you like what you heard, leave us a comment, give us a follow, join us at RosterWatch.com. And until next time, be ready.